Supervisor Shelton.
Hello, everyone. Someone has joined us from the phone number that ends with 5514. Can you please identify yourself so we know who has joined us?
Pam Sebeski.
Oh, hello.
5514.
Thank you.
Christine, this is Supervisor Shelton.
Hi, Supervisor Shelton.
Yeah, I just wanted you to know we left a county meeting and I'm on my way home. And so I'm using my phone and I have 0031. And then when I get home, I'll hook up my computer and zoom in.
All right, thank you. Please let us know if you are not with us at some point so that if a vote is taken at that time, then we can know not to call on you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try to overlap them though. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Franklin, I'm looking through the participants and I'll let you know whenever we have a quorum.
Thank you. And then also, I can't see myself. Can anyone see themselves?
Yeah, I can see it.
You know, whenever I
can't see anyone else either.
at the top right, there's an option for view.
Okay. Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
Sure.
And then Christine, I guess I should let you know, I know Delegate Guzman is running a bit late, as well as Supervisor Tanisha Allen. And then I think we have a few more supervisors at a graduation. And I'm not sure if they've notified you ahead of time, but I guess I'm letting you know now as well.
Yes, I'm aware that there are quite a few Prince William County members who will not be joining us this evening. Chair Franklin, you can, I believe you can start the meeting at your convenience. We have enough members now.
Okay. With that, I will now call this meeting to order. If you will please bow for the invocation. Lord, thank you for another moment to come and serve our community. We thank you for the blessings that you have put over our regional transportation commissions, and we just ask that you continue to help us move forward as we ease out of the pandemic. Please bless our transportation employees, our bus drivers, our operators, our supervisors, and everyone else operating to provide transportation services to our region. We thank you for them. We just ask that you please keep them safe. In our Father and Son's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
And can we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry, Andrea Bailey.
Here. Oh, she's not hearing this, please.
Kenny Bodie.
Here.
Margaret Franklin.
Here.
Janine Lawson. Yesley Vega. Pete Canland. Maggie Hansford. Kalai Kandasamy.
Here.
Kim Short.
Here.
Benny Smith.
Here.
Ann Wheeler. Tanisha Allen. Cindy Shelton.
Here.
Meg Bumke. Thomas Cohn. Pamela Sebeski. I know Ms. Sebeski had called in. Is she still with us? Okay. Ralph Smith,
Here.
Jeanette Rischel,
Here.
Preston Banks, Alana Mensing, Daryl Moore, Matthew Kelly,
Here.
Jason Graham, Deborah Frazier, Gary Skinner, Tim McLaughlin, David Ross, Jennifer Mitchell, Jennifer DeBrule, Todd Horsley,
Here.
Lee Carter, Elizabeth Guzman, George Barker. Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay. We will now move into item 4, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, this is Smith from Manassas. I move approval of the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Smith to move the agenda. Is there a second?
Matt Kelly, second.
Seconded by Mr. Kelly. Any discussion? Christine, will you please call the roll?
Yes, and I've been advised that Senator Barker has joined us. Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Ralph Smith,
Yes.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
George Barker.
Yes.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Thank you. And Christine and Sharon, I just realized that I did not read the meeting notice for electronic meetings. Should I go ahead and do that?
Yes, why don't you do that right now?
Okay. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and related state of emergency, and as set forth in the Commission's Resolution 20-05-01 from the May 7th, 2020 meeting, we are meeting remotely again this month. The public access is being provided by live streaming the meeting on PRTC's YouTube channel. This information was on PRTC's website, Facebook page, and at the Transit Center, as well as being advertised in Inside Nova and the Freelance Star. We will follow the same meeting process as before. Please state your name when speaking. I will introduce each item, then ask for a motion and a second. I will repeat the names of who made the motion and second. I will then ask each jurisdiction if there are any comments or questions from their representative on the item. I will then ask Christine to call the roll, and commissioners who need to leave the meeting should verbally advise me prior to leaving so we can ensure we still have a quorum and the time can be reflected in the meeting minutes. Okay. And with that, we will now move to item 5, approval of the minutes from May 6th. Is there a motion to approve the May 6th meeting minutes?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Bodie. Is there a second?
Second, Matt
Second.
Kelly.
Seconded by Mr. Kelly. Any discussion from Prince William County,
None.
Stafford County,
None.
Manassas Park, Byrd, Spotsylvania, and General Assembly? Christine, will you please call the roll?
Yes, and now I've been advised that Vice Mayor Sebeski is with us again. So, all right, going through the roll. Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Yes.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pamela Sebeski,
Aye.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
George Barker.
Yes.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, we will now move into item 6, the VRE CEO Executive Director's time. Mr. Dalton, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, Commission members and others. You have the CEO report and the update memo in your packet, so I'm just going to speak real brief to, or just briefly to some highlights and updates. Over the past several weeks, we continue to see an increase in average daily ridership. And just as a note, BRE did return to a full schedule just a couple of days ago on June 1st. With that full schedule, we also implemented our seasonal schedule on select PM Fredericksburg line trains to adjust for heat orders. For the month of May, and this is unaudited, but we did see a decrease in on-time performance. In the right now we're calling it about 87%. Primarily the last 2 weeks of the month had signal outage issues on both CSX and Norfolk Southern. We had some weather-related issues. There was some maintenance away activity out there, which is always good to do maintenance on the railroad. We did have a mechanical issue and frankly, several interference issues from Amtrak trains and freight trains interference. System-wide for the month of May, and again, this is unaudited, but we saw our average daily ridership about 1,800, which is about 300 increase from the previous month. And then finally, I just want to remind folks, if you haven't heard, but this Saturday, we, VRE, will be in Manassas for the 26th Annual Heritage Railway Festival. This event will run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. VRE will not be operating excursion trains like we have in the past, but we will have a locomotive and a cab car present as a static display, and this will be on the siding in front of the candy factory if you're familiar with that area. Again, no excursion trains. It's great to be back doing this event with our partners there in the city of Manassas. And that's the end of my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Dalton from Prince William County?
Nope.
Stafford County? City of Manassas? Manassas Park?
No questions.
Fredericksburg? Spotsylvania? And the General Assembly?
Madam Chair, I did have a question. I apologize.
Mr.
Zach Kelly. Rich, on the delays as a result of Amtrak and CSX, what portion of the delays were caused by that? 1, 2, could you be a little bit more specific on the actual reason for the delays? Were prior notification, or are there issues that we should be aware of on the tracks going forward?
Let me just start with that last part. These were somewhat random issues. They're not necessarily systemic issues, Mr. Kelly. As it relates to a couple of the signal outage issues, again, at the extent, and I know you're familiar with how the railroad operates, but of course, when they have some level of signal outage issues, then the whole railroad goes dark and shuts down. It's a fail-safe system. So those level of issues are, again, very uncommon. And then back to the maybe you're getting to like the maintenance away, some of the maintenance away projects out there. They for the most part, they're scheduled. And of course, once they get out there with their various teams for the maintenance away work, if they find additional work, that just means that that team is in the area longer. And what that does is that obviously imposes slow orders on us, and we just have to proceed in those areas with caution, but of course at slower speeds. So as far as things that you need to be aware of, I would say this. We're going to be watching this very closely because now we're back to a full schedule. And as I've mentioned at the operations board, I believe last month, is that, you know, both Norfolk Southern and CSX have not operated us at a full schedule for quite some time, almost 15 months. We've only been at it 2 days. Tuesday was really good. And then yesterday there was some opportunities, if you will, some things to polish up. We meet every morning on a delay call, and we work through those issues and hopefully have them resolved for the following day. So I know that was kind of a lot of information here, but Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, Madam Chair, kind of the reason for the question is, we were having delay issues prior to all this happening with more and more with conflicts with freight. As the state's moving forward with their project, and remembering we are all in support of what the state's doing, but we're a part of a bigger project for the state. And this has got to be a little bit of something I'd like us to keep a handle on moving forward, because I got a feeling there's going to be some more issues of conflict on the rails as things keep expanding.
Mr. Dalton,
Yes, Madam Chair.
would you like to address maybe how we can further prevent delays, particularly as we get back in person? I know you're going to monitor it, but any other thoughts on that?
So I'll just go back from a statistical standpoint. Over the last year and a half, and that includes pre-COVID, our average system-wide on-time performance was 92%. And then over the last, I believe, we had 10 months straight, granted during the COVID, a reduced level of service at about 93%. The last 2 weeks of May had a lot of very random, uncharacteristic things. And I completely get Mr. Kelly's point. I will emphasize again, we do meet daily with all of our host railroads, CSX, Amtrak, and Norfolk Southern. And again, knowing that we were going to come back out in this full schedule, and we knew that we were going to have some opportunities to work through. We are doing that on a daily basis right now. And we will continue doing that, obviously looking not only just at those random issues, but any systemic type issues that may be in front of us.
Thank you for that. Now we can move into item 6.2. Mr. Dalton, would you like to just give a recap of VRE's operating budget?
Yes, Madam Chair. 6.2. This is we're seeking authorization to adopt the amended 2022 VRE operating budget. And just in summary, after the FY 2022 operating capital budgets were adopted earlier this fiscal year, the federal government approved additional pandemic relief funds, specifically CRISA and ARPA, for transit providers. So VRE is incorporating a portion of these revenues into the FY 2022 operating budget. And more specifically, the amended budget reflects the discussions that we've had at the operations board for the past couple of months on strategic uses of the relief funds. This action will reduce jurisdictional subsidies in FY 22 by the amounts provided in the enclosed table in your board package there. And in addition to that, VRE will not seek track access fee reimbursements from the Commonwealth. Total planned expenditures are unchanged, and the FY 2022 budget remains balanced. That is my summary, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions about the amended budget from Prince William County?
No.
No questions.
Stafford County? City of Manassas?
No questions.
Manassas Park?
None, thank you.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
Spotsylvania? And the General Assembly? Okay, Christine, will you please call the roll?
Madam Chair, we don't have a motion yet for that
Oh, I'm sorry.
resolution.
Madam Mayor, excuse me, Madam Mayor. Long week already. Madam Chair, I'll move 6.2, adopting the amended FY 2022 VRE operations budget.
Moved by
Pam
Ms.
Sebesky,
Kelly.
second.
Is there a second? Ms.
Pam
Sebesky?
Sebesky, second. Yes.
I'll give it to Vice Chair Sebaski on this one.
Christine, will you please call the roll?
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pamela Sabeski,
Aye.
Jeanette Richel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
George Parker.
Yes.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, next we have several authorizations for VRE regarding some contracts with Keolis. What I'd like to do without objection is to merge items 6.3 through 6.6 into one motion and then discussion and then vote. So without objection, Rich, can you just kind of go over all of those at once?
Yes, Madam Chair, but just for a point of clarification, 6.3 is a contract for rail cars. And then 6.4, to your point, 6.4 and 6.5 are the Keolis actions.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do it then.
Sure, and if you want to go through each item, and then we can just do discussion on all of them.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Madam Chair. 6.3, what we're seeking here is authorization to execute a contract for the purchase of new rail cars in the amount stated in your resolution plus a contingency for a total amount. This purchase is consistent with the System Plan 2040, specifically the Manassas and Fredericksburg line capacity improvement plans. And this will authorize VRE to execute a contract, as I mentioned, for 21 new multi-level passenger rail cars. And the contract will also have some options and stuff in there as well. I believe we have a video here, and this might be a good, just a couple of minute video does a lot better job probably visually showing what those rail cars are. So I just want to point out that the color palettes and some of the other features are not final. This is just meant to be a visual of what some of the features and what these new passenger rail cars would look like. So go ahead and play the video now.
Alstom's Coradia Multilevel sets the stage for a new era in VRE commuter rail service. Passengers will enjoy an enhanced travel experience with multiple side doors on each car to improve passenger flow and reduce dwell times at stations, level boarding that promotes accessibility for all passengers while maintaining interoperability with the existing fleet. The Coradia Multilevel boasts an improved stainless steel car body with a structural design meeting the latest FRA crashworthiness standards for the safest ride. Easy access to aid removal of components such as brake discs and HVAC units shorten maintenance durations. The new cab cars will feature a new expandable design for the operator. Enhanced diagnostics and connected systems mean better fleet maintenance, operations, reliability, and availability. The choices of materials, treatments, and touchless features promote easier cleaning and a sanitary interior for healthy journeys, reassuring passengers and enhancing satisfaction. The interior offers fluidity and efficiency. Boarding and wide vestibules promote access for persons with reduced mobility and passenger exchange. Bicycle and luggage areas enable intermobility, which can help attract new passengers and promote sustainable mobility. For passenger safety and security, centered lower level to mid-level stairs improve sight lines for VRE personnel, and CCTV reassures passengers of their safety. Passenger flows for boarding and circulation throughout the cars offer a welcoming and modern feel for VRE customers. Lifts on each car will assist persons with mobility assistance devices. ADA, fully accessible restrooms, and dedicated seating areas enhance accessibility and inclusivity for VRE passengers. The passenger is at the heart of the design. From more personal space to modern filtration systems for air quality and circulation, to the latest cybersecurity technology. Features that ensure the safety and integrity of the entire train, reassure passengers, and provide a comforting environment. The Open interiors flooded with natural light via large windows so riders can look outside and enjoy the passing landscape and views. The Caridia multi-level will bring a new and improved experience for commuters between Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C.
Moving on, Madam Chair, 6.4. This is the, we're seeking authorization to execute an amendment to the existing contract with Keolis Rail Services Virginia for the operating services portion of, which is the one of the two contracts that Keolis has. So again, in the amount stated in your resolution, this will authorize the contracted services for management, supervision, certified locomotive engineers, certified conductors to operate VRE commuter rail trains in FY 2022. 6.5 is we're seeking authorization from the commissions to execute an amendment for the first option period and then the first year of the first option period for the second contract that Keolis Rail Services has for us for maintenance services. And again, in the amount stated in the resolution, this action, and I'll state again, will first authorize the first option period, which is a 5-year period. And then the second part of this will authorize essentially the budget for FY 2022. And then 6.6, this is, we're just seeking authorization to enter into a right-of-way easement agreement with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative for electric utility easement at the Crossroads Maintenance and Storage Facility. And this is part of the life cycle overhaul and upgrade facility program or project that's currently being constructed. And the easement essentially is about 15 feet wide, a little bit less than 2,000 feet, and it runs across property that the commissions own. And those are my summaries, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that. Is there a motion to move 6.3 through 6.6 forward?
So
Madam Chair, can I get a point of clarification from our attorney?
Yes.
I can see a little bit of putting 5 and 4 together because they both deal with Keolis. The other ones are kind of totally different topics. And I know we don't have a consent agenda where we would sometimes vote on multiple things, but I'm a little concerned about voting on the amount of money and everything else involved here as one vote. Is the attorney comfortable with us moving forward like this?
I do not have a problem, even though there might be diverse issues in taking the 4 items together, which is why we suggested to the chair that she might ask us to do that.
Sarah? I'm sorry. Okay, I was going to ask Mr. McIsaac to mute, but please continue.
So I do not see a problem with them being voted on together. If the commission feels uncomfortable with it, then certainly you may vote on them separately. But there's no legal problem with voting on them together.
All right, thank you.
Is there a motion to move item 6.3 through 6.6 forward?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Rischel, seconded by
Supervisor Bodie.
Supervisor Bodie. Is there a discussion from Prince William County?
None.
No discussion.
And then I'll just, I guess, take this time. Rich, for the rail cars for item 6.3, is there any technology, I guess, for enhanced like airflow, particularly as we deal with COVID?
Yes, and in fact, the opportunity here is to continue to gather the information through analysis and some of the other efforts that are currently ongoing, and ensure that that technology is incorporated into these rail cars. I failed to mention that the projected delivery of these rail cars is in that 3 to 4 year time frame, and in the next year to 14, 15 months will be the refinement of design and manufacturing and stuff like that. So the timing actually is really, really good.
Thank you for that. Any other questions from Prince William County? Stafford County,
None.
City of Manassas,
No questions have already been asked.
Manassas Park,
None, thank you.
Fredericksburg,
No questions.
Spotsylvania, and the General Assembly. Christine, Christine, will you please call the roll?
Yes, and I understand that Delegate Guzman has now joined us during Rich's time. So starting with the roll, Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pamela Sebeski,
Aye.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
Elizabeth Guzman,
Yes.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Thank you. And then I believe 6.7 are a few VRE informational items. Rich, anything to flag there?
No, Madam Chair, but I'll take any questions now or at another time on this material.
Okay, I'll just flag that this includes information regarding VRE's board meeting as well as their spending authority report. So any questions for Rich for Prince William County?
None.
Stafford County? City of Manassas?
No questions.
Manassas Park?
None.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
Spotsylvania? General Assembly?
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dalton. And we will now move into item 7, public comment time. Christine, were there any public comments submitted?
Madam Chair, no one submitted comments during the acceptance period.
Okay, we'll now move into item 8, the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move, Pam Sebeski.
Second, Bodie.
And I guess I'll just take this time. 8.2 is authorization to draw down from the motor fuels tax to subsidize VRE operating and capital budget for FY22. 8.3 is authorization to budget and appropriate Spotsylvania's motor fuels tax for FY 2021 transportation projects. 8.4 is authorization for the executive director to award a contract to Sigmatic for maintenance and repair of PRTC's owned buses and bus stops and bus shelters. And 8.5 is authorization of the publication to seek public comment on and provisionally adopt the proposed disadvantaged business enterprise goal for federal years 2022 through 2024. Is there discussion from Prince William County?
No discussion.
Stafford County?
No discussion.
City of Manassas?
No discussion.
Manassas Park?
Just a quick question. How was the goal of 14.1% determined? Was that linked in any way to the demographics of the service area of PRT of the VRE? Excuse me, the PRTs. Wait a second.
Is that item 8.5 you're referring to? Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 8.4?
8.5. Yeah. Was it linked to the service area?
It is a combination of available contracts, dollars to spend, and the demographics of the region is set by what is called NASIX codes, which are, I don't recall the exact acronym, but it's the amount of dollars to spend with the eligible firms as a proportionality to total budget.
Okay, it wasn't quite clear to me. So how was the 14.1% calculated? Demographically, I'm not quite understanding that.
So it's a proportion. So the 14.1% is going to be based on the totality of the budget of what's available to spend, so that what remains of the budget, for example, fuel may not necessarily be, it's what is the proportional amount that can be spent. Then we look at what are the available and eligible firms that can perform the work and duty inside the area. And then it's a proportion of the budget, not necessarily who can do the work or what geographic limitation it can be. It is what is the availability of expenditure based on those eligible codes. And again, the federal government does not permit geographic limitation on procurements.
So it's not based on the number of DBEs in a particular area.
No, and it cannot be, in that the federal government strictly prohibits geographic limitations on federal expenditures, simply because that way there's not a limitation. It's national tax money going into a pool, so therefore it is national eligibility to spend. There are some fiscal realities I will mention. For example, it's really hard for a company out of California to perform a drug test on an employee in Prince William County. So those are some examples of that. But you may have a firm out of Atlanta bid on a contract for schedule production if they can meet the price and fit the best performance of the procurement. But
Okay.
it just really refers to what the eligible amount will be and what the opportunity to spend are. So 14.1 is a very ambitious goal. Most transit systems are sub 10%.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any questions from Fredericksburg,
No questions.
Spotsylvania, and the General Assembly?
No questions.
Okay. Christine, will you please call the roll?
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pamela Sabeski,
Aye.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
Elizabeth Guzman,
Yes.
George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, we'll now move into item 9, the executive director's time. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Schneider.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Placing COVID-19 front and center, we'll be working toward ending our vehicle capacity limits in the coming weeks. We've been certain to receive employee and union feedback over the past few weeks, and we'll continue to communicate with employees and passengers as we prepare to implement. The next issue will be masks, as we are still under a federal mask mandate through September, yet states are beginning to ease restrictions. All transit vehicles and facilities remain under a mask mandate in public areas and gatherings at this time. I've reached out to the American Public Transportation Association, DRPT, as well as Senator Warner's office in an effort to disconnect transit vehicles from airplanes that would allow state laws and local laws to dictate mask requirements versus that broad-based policy statement. On a wonderfully positive note, yesterday had our highest commuter ridership since March 17, 2020. It pushed us over 30% of our pre-pandemic ridership, which is outstanding. And we only expect this number to increase, which is part of why we're focused on vehicle capacity and the supporting and surrounding issues. This does tie in with our new service changes, which begin this Monday, June 7th. It is significant because it is also the first time we will launch services from the new Western facility at the rough intersection of 234 and Balls Ford Road along the I-66 corridor. Any of you are welcome to come watch buses leave the yard at 3 a.m. It is, I promise, just as exciting as it sounds, but we will be there in force to help troubleshoot any issues and support Keolis and their efforts. We do expect some unforeseen snafus, so if you do get passenger complaints or emails, phone calls to your offices, please send them to us so we can respond. Every service adjustment always has a lot of dozens and dozens of little intricacies, but we're talking about completely lifting routes that have been traveling out of Woodbridge for years and now operating out of the Manassas area. So we expect there to be some small logistical items, but we certainly don't want those small items to be anything larger. We also have our OmniRide transportation town, we have some exciting events coming up, which we'll send out in our post-meeting summary. First is I'll be participating in the Future of Transit Town Hall on June 17th, a joint venture between the Occoquan and the Absco districts. As you may recall, we have already held town halls in Quantico and in the Woodbridge district this past fall. We have our OmniRide Transportation Town Hall scheduled for June 23rd. This is really focused as an outward-facing event to engage the community about what they can expect over summer and fall and how we will grow our services post-pandemic. On June 15th, we will also be hosting Proterra and their demonstration electric bus at the Woodbridge Transit Center from 10 to 12, which is a chance to look under the hood of this continuously evolving technology. We had scheduled this for early May, but it got canceled due to logistics. OmniRide is also breathing life back into our employer council meetings now that employers are starting to bring workers back. And our next one will be held on June 23rd from 9 to 10:30. And we will continue to grow our Hispanic Council, which has been meeting throughout this year, with the meeting on June 30th, 9 to 10. Invitations can be found on the OmniRide Council's page on the OmniRide website, and we will include all that as a direct link in the summary. You also may remember from our December 3rd commission meeting, we provided an update on the classification and compensation study being conducted by Baker Tilly, and that we were in process of reviewing the draft salary structures, classifications, etc. For the July 8th meeting, we will bring Baker Tilly's final report and recommendations forward and seek commission approval of a new OmniRide class and compensation structure in line with budget that we've asked you to approve this evening. And finally, two things before I turn things over to Ms. Murdoch for a Keolis update. We have nearly completed the repairs to the lot regarding the collapsed stormwater drain and manhole access. Asphalt is due to be completed any day, but this is the busy season for asphalt delivery, so it has been a delay in getting that done. As we complete this project, the facilities department is working to examine longer-term solutions to ensure we aren't in such a reactive position moving forward. And then finally, I'm sure many of you heard about the tragic shooting in San Jose at one of the transit facilities, a light rail yard. We as a national industry pay close attention to these things, and I hope you'll keep that transit system, the community, and the hundreds of employees that come to work every day in your thoughts. And thank you, appreciate all the energy that you've put into helping support us in our efforts to protect and take care of our employees. So on that note, Ms. Murdoch, your update.
Thank you, Dr. Snyder, and good evening, commissioners. We are so excited as we take this next step toward expanding bus service for our community. As Dr. Snyder stated, the Western facility opens on Monday, and I'm sorry I'm off camera because we just left there this evening, still moving things in. I look a little worn out, but that doesn't thwart my excitement about what's going to happen on Monday. Dr. Snyder mentioned 3 a.m., and I know that's early for many of you, but that's the first time the first buses roll out. But we'll be there all day, and if you'd like to just come by later and shake hands with bus drivers, they start coming back in around 9 to 10. Then they go back out, they're back in between about 2:30 and 3:30. So there are several times if you have time to come out to join us. I want to alert you though, if you come over to the facility, Keolis is on the first floor and we don't have furniture yet. Our furniture has been delayed. It arrives June 21st for the first delivery, in August for our big sofa that's going into the driver's lounge. But we have temporary furnishings and would love to have you come over and shake hands and meet the bus drivers. Of course, I met with the PRTC leadership today so that we can dot every I, cross every T, make sure we have everything moved from the printer paper to fuel there at the facility. So it's an exciting time. I hope you can join us. And also today is Dr. Snyder's birthday. Just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
Dr. Snyder, you're muted.
Sorry. Thank you very much. And staff's been giving me birthday wishes all day long. So passing the budget would be a great present tonight. So I look forward to that in just a few moments, Madam Chair. This time muted.
My apologies. In 9.3 is an industry article that you all can take a look at. We'll move to item 10, in which there are no presentations or information. Is that correct, Dr. Schneider?
That is correct.
Okay. Moving right along to item 11.1, approval of an appropriation of PRTC's FY 2022 budget. And we'll let Dr. Schneider to go over a recap, and then we'll move into a motion.
Yes, as you recall, we presented the budget with the adjusted service volumes, with projected ridership, projected service increases, really a sliding scale. This was presented in detailed format to all 6 jurisdictions submitted in March. It has been through your individual budget processes, and each of the 6 jurisdictions have passed their individual budget processes. So this is that final step to formalize that. And as part of this resolution, it also includes the key items to initiate the annual health insurance contracts for vision, healthcare, et cetera, so we can continue renewing the medical, dental, and vision plans, and then authorizes us to apply for the required federal grant funding as outlined for FY 2022. So this one resolution bundles all of that together.
Okay. Is there a motion to move item 11.1 forward?
So moved. Kenny Bodie.
Second, Matt Kelly.
Moved by Supervisor Bodie, seconded by Mr. Kelly. Is there a discussion from Prince William County?
Yes. Happy birthday, Dr. Schneider.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from Prince William County?
None.
Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
No questions.
Manassas Park?
None.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
Spotsylvania? And the General Assembly? Christine, will you please call the roll?
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Benny Smith.
Aye.
didn't hear- Thank you. Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pamela Sebeski,
Aye.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
Elizabeth Guzman,
Yes.
George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, we'll now move into item 11.2, the approval of the commuter choice on the I-395-95 corridor, round 2 program of projects. Forward to the Commonwealth Transportation Board and authorization of the Northern Virginia Transportation Commission's executive director to execute the standard project agreement. This is a resolution to approve the commuter choice on the I-395-95 corridor, round 2 summary of projects for submission to CTB, and again to authorize the NVTC ED to execute the standard project agreement. Over the last couple of months, Mr. Owens from NVTC, and I'm not sure if he's here now, provided various briefs and updates on the proposed commuter choice program. And I think he should be here to answer any questions should you have any. So is there a motion to move item 11.2 forward?
I move
So-
that, Madam Chair.
Moved by Mr. Mitchell. Is there a second?
Second, Supervisor Bodie.
Seconded by Supervisor Bodie. Is Mr. Owens online?
Yep, I am here.
Okay. Any questions from Prince William County?
None.
Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
None.
Manassas Park?
None.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
Spotsylvania? And the General Assembly? Christine, will you please call the roll?
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Aye.
Kim Short,
Yes.
Benny Smith,
Yes.
Cindy Shelton, I didn't hear a response from Cindy Shelton. Okay, I'm going to move along.
Sorry, I couldn't get it to come up, but
Uh,
thank you.
Was that a vote for yes?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Thank you. Pamela Sabeski,
Yes.
Jeanette Rischel,
Yes.
Matthew Kelly,
Yes.
Todd Horsley,
Yes.
Elizabeth Guzman,
Yes.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, Mr. Owens, thank you again for all of the presentations and keeping us up to speed and helping us along with this process. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll now move into item 12, chair's time. The only thing that I will flag, and I'll turn to Dr. Schneider and Sharon to kind of help with this if necessary. It looks like in July, we're going to have our monthly meeting July 8th at the same time. And I think it will be a hybrid meeting, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Schneider or Sharon, would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
I'll clarify, and then Sharon can correct anything. It is not going to be a hybrid meeting. It will be an in-person meeting. However, the rules permit up to 2 meetings for each member per year. So it is up to the discretion of the member as to if they wish to participate virtually. So we will have that as an option to be set up, but we will be working diligently the week before to get that listing of those individuals that will not be in person. And then we will record that formally as one of your 2 meetings for the year. We gather 11 times during the course of a year. So it's really a 9 out of 11 times to be present. So we will work to coordinate that. That will require a little bit of logistics at the start of the meeting to adopt a formal resolution to identify who is not present as opposed to who is, but we will take care of and track all that information and be prepared. So the expectation is, in general, if you're able to attend the meeting, you certainly should. We will also be looking at any guidelines for distancing. At this time, everyone present will have to be masked, et cetera, just because we still are under those federal guidelines for that. So that is something we'll watch. Ms. Pandak, did I miss any key items?
Just to augment that a little bit more, the General Assembly added some additional slight exemptions to the ability for individual members to be virtual. And that will need a little bit of nudging to one of your bylaws to implement that. So we will bring that forward to you to give that additional flexibility. It's just nudges. It's not huge things in my mind, but we'll take care of that. And Dr. Snyder is correct. I should add that we are at a loss to find any legal authority for you to continue to meet virtually due to the pandemic after the governor ends the state of emergency, which we expect to be at the end of June.
Yeah, and I just might add, it's going to be really important for those that opt to participate remotely to let Christine know if that's what you plan to do, because I believe, and Ms. Pandak, correct me, that we still need to have a certain number of people in person to have that meeting. So if you plan to participate virtually, we need to know that. And if you plan for whatever reason not to be there at all because of other commitments, per usual, we also need to know that as well.
Absolutely, Madam Chair. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes.
We will need to have a quorum physically present.
Okay. And what I'll do, actually, if everyone is okay with this, I like to just go around each jurisdiction to make sure that there are no questions or comments about that. So any questions or comments regarding this from Prince William County?
None, Madam Chair.
None.
Okay. Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
None. Manassas City will be present on July 8th.
Looking forward to seeing you. Fredericksburg?
No questions.
Spotsylvania? And the General Assembly?
No questions, but just a real quick comment. Actually, unless the governor terminates the state of emergency before June 30th, it will automatically expire on June 30th. He could reinstate it the next a new one, the next day, but it is very doubtful that he will do that.
Okay. Thank you for that. And so, yeah, I just want to make sure that we were all clear. So the goal is to meet in person July 8th, same time at the PRTC Transit Center, close to Potomac Mills. I'm sure many of you have been there. If you have any questions, just let us know. And if you are participating remotely or cannot make it, please let Christine know so we can have the appropriate quorum.
I have a question.
Mayor Mitchell?
Yeah, my alternate will probably be in attendance for me on July 8th. Will my alternate be able to remote in, or must the individual attend in person?
Mayor Rischel, Madam Chair, if I might, Mayor Rischel, your alternate will be subject to the same requirements as you are. If she attends or he attends virtually, then they will have to meet those requirements of the Freedom of Information Act. So if that person has any questions, they can contact Christine or contact me or Dr. Snyder, and we'll facilitate them understanding it.
Okay, thank you.
And and this probably relates more to, I'm guessing, Madam Chair, is the physical versus virtual requirement. And we'll make sure that is clear. And as we work through that, we'll identify that for everyone, just to make sure we have the physical presence.
Okay. And then the last thing in my chair's time, just want to wish Dr. Schneider a happy birthday. It's quite a time to celebrate. I hope you're able to get out with your family, or maybe you're spending it with us. Not sure, but I hope you can spend some time for yourself and with your family to celebrate. And we thank you for all that you do here at PRTC and in the community. So I hope it was a wonderful day.
It's been great so far. Thank you for passing the budget for our many, many employees.
Absolutely.
That's the gift.
All right, and we'll move into item 13, commissioner's time, and Christine will call each person's name via the roll, and you can give your report or any comments. If no comments, you can just say pass. Christine?
Kenny Bodie,
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy birthday again, Dr. Schneider. I will pass the rest of my time.
Kalai Kandasamy,
Pass.
Kim Short,
Just so I can make Dr. Snyder uncomfortable, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I hope the rest of it is great.
Benny Smith,
Pass.
Cindy Shelton,
Thank you again. Happy birthday, and I'll pass on everything else. Thank you.
Pamela Sabeski,
Hi, yes, I want to just point out again that the Train Festival is going on Saturday in Old Town Manassas. It's our first big event since the start of COVID. So if anyone is around, please feel free to come out. Should be great weather. And happy birthday to Dr. Schneider. I'm glad we could pass the budget and get out of this meeting earlier than normal so that hopefully you can have some time with your family. Good night, everybody.
Ralph Smith,
Yes, Dr. Snyder, we may have a slice of cake at the train festival for you Saturday, sir. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Jeanette Rischel,
Happy birthday, Dr. Schneider. Hope everyone has a great evening.
Matthew Kelly,
Pass.
Todd Horsley,
Pass. Thanks.
Elizabeth Guzman,
Happy birthday, Dr. Schneider.
and George Barker.
Pass.
Madam Chair, that concludes commissioner's time.
Thank you. And we'll now move into item 14, which is adjournment. Is there a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Supervisor
Second.
Bodie. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and without objection, we will adjourn. Thank you, everyone. See you
Thanks
next
so much,
you.
everyone.
in person. Okay.
Night
Good
all.
evening. Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Good night.